is that you can choose a side, say, hey, this is the defensive side because we at least have a wall to our backs, and usually that's the case. So because of that, we're a little bit more spread out. We can get better tones of fire going down. And the crossfire is generally better, and it's just an easy way to do things. Now on to another short one. This is the most defensible building in the game. It's called the corner building. What it consists of is usually 2 engineers will throw a turret down, one watching each door or each side. Heavies will then clear a path for that turret to fire, but they'll also be watching, creating a crossfire from each little flanks here. While the medics stay more towards the center, the hot medic's a little bit more out on the wings to also give some cover. But also trying not to be in the way of those engineer turrets.
Where do you want to put your turrets is right here. If you get it at a certain angle, one engineer can watch both turrets, although in an ideal world you want 2. You want 2 engineers.
One facing one side, one facing the other side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so the cold medics would be more around this corner. Usually there's like pylons and stuff for cover right here, where I'm shooting. Right here. So the cold medics can utilize that as cover, and so can the heavies. A good example of a base that utilizes this would probably be
Snowshear Watchtower.
If we head over, well, Snowshear uses one of these, but one of the most notable ones is Manny Lake Satellite, where the one and only capture point is in a corner building. Can't put down the waypoint because it's on Esamir.
I'm sure most of you have been there. We have had some great defenses in that building. I believe it was the day after the Pounders were buffed.
Yeah. Well, the one on Indar that we fight at a lot is TI. There's not actual point in the building, but it's just south of the spawn room, so it's a hard building to take.
Right. So this one here is called the corner building. It's also called the L building, if you really want to call it that, but it's pretty generic and not very specific because there are a lot of L buildings in the game. So beyond that, there really isn't much to it other than if one side is being breached, you can have the other side move to flank. That's about it. So the last building that we are going to be covering in the warp gate is called the Sink. And I think it's some people's favorite.
Basically, generator room.
Yes, this is most commonly called the generator room when you're in a biolab, for example. But there are lots of other places where it's utilized. I feel this is the most utilized out of all of the different buildings in the game for where points are going to be at. For example, you've got TI Alloys has it there. You've got, well, I guess not Xenocheck, but Xenocheck has one close to that you can use for spawn suppression. You've got one at...
Sarah.
Yep, Sarah Listing Post has a sink. Yep. Echo Valley has a sink. Where else?
Every biolab.
Not Research Camp uses a sink. Every single biolab. Not Communications uses a sink. The Rink uses 2 sinks. So they're incredibly utilized and one of the most important buildings to learn how to defend. And if you learn how to defend it properly, as Gal might note from the scrim against DPSO, when we had been practicing this building for quite a while, they could not even get close to hitting this building effectively. So the sink is split into 2 sections, the basin and the faucet. The basin is this wide open area at the bottom, and it's not very defensible at all. So you do not want to have people on the first floor because it can be breached from 4 angles, and that's not good. So what usually we'll do is have everybody will be up here in the faucet. The faucet is separated into 2 parts. It's separated into faucet hallway and then faucet room. The faucet room is connected in a building via the banana bridges, which would be these 2 doors here. There are occasions in which there's a balcony out there, and that also allows for some interesting flanking situations.
For instance, Vanu Archives.
Right,
Vanu
like Vanu Archives, for example.
Yep.
TIO Alloys.
Yep, TI Alloys has it, for example. Rationing Watchtower has it. So, places
has a
like that.
I need ammunition.
So, the hallway is connected to the basin by two entrances. That would be the small stairs and big stairs. Big stairs is a double width staircase, whereas small stairs is a single width staircase. The linchpin heavy position, and we divide up into fire teams because just to separate each one of the three entrances naturally. So I'd probably put defensive would be over here on big stairs. The linchpin position for the heavy is going to be where Element's standing right now. From this position, he can overlook 3 out of the 4 entrances into the basin, right from here. He throws a conch, and if it hits right here, it hits anything that's coming through here. Well, I just got hit by a conch because of Element. Yeah, and so it would hit anything, and I've been double conked, yay.
Keep going. You're good.
Yes. Well, I was slightly disoriented because of the conch. Anyway. So you've got these 3 entrances that Element can cover any of. He can cover 2 of the entrances with 1 conch grenade, where I'm standing. And any max crash that comes up here, he just conch, max crash. The 2 heavies that are most likely going to be in defensive, should we have more than 4, could just desi the maxes 1 by 1 before they even reach stairs.
Hey, Melios, you having some
I would
lag?
probably... Yes.
Okay, I've noticed so far. I don't think everybody has.
Yeah, I had like a 400 ping, so...
It's not too bad
not-
for us anyway.
it's
We
not-
can still hear you.
Yeah. Well, that's in-game. The team speaks different. Anyway. Over at small stairs, which is going to be the area that we'd probably be breaching from the most because of the short distance that it takes to get from the basin directly up to the faucet. This is the best point to breach, except in certain cases where you're probably going to be using the banana bridges. So from here, the easiest way to defend this is you throw an engineer who will be throwing down a turret on 1/2 split like this, and that creates a natural choke. They have to come up through one of these 2 halves. The other half is going to be loaded with explosives should a max come up. So if you've got an engineer that throws down a turret here, he has tank mines here, he shoots the tank mines, any max that comes up is dead. It's simple as that. Or alternatively, you can have a claymore with tank mines, should you have a combination of claymores and tank mines with the NGs in the group. So where this turret is right now is actually facing the wrong direction, but that's alright.
I was going to show you another placement trick for this stairway. If you guys can clear the right side of the stairway. If you stand against this wall and take like 1 step forward, where your turret is basically aimed at the exterior point, and then drop. Again, it's a 45-degree angle from the wall. Get perfect coverage of the entire stairway, as well as a left side aim. And that way you can, in case somebody's flanking up the big stairs, you also have the ability to take some picks.
Yep.
Decent. I like it.
I didn't even know about that one. Pretty good.
I didn't know about that one either. Thanks, Deus Ex.
Yeah, just bear
Also,
in
there
mind, whenever you
was-
lay a turret, it has a 90-degree turn. So just look at your angles. It's basically, if you have a 90 FOV on your screen, you can figure out exactly where you want your turret to be.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that'll be your field of view for your turret swing.
Yeah. And a little trick, DSX, do you want to throw a turret down facing the big stairs from the hallway? Kind of opposite of where I'm standing. Well, I guess that's just throw it down. Okay. So, if you get on here, don't believe that you can actually shoot me. And so this was a trick that was used in a couple of tournaments where they would throw their turret down from my position facing big stairs to cover any big stairs stuff that was going on, or it would be facing small stairs. So from my
It looks like
position,
Pachi's getting hit once you aim it down a little bit too far.
No,
It's
there's no
actually the
register.
collision, it moves him.
Oh.
So he's not actually getting shot, it's just,
The
okay.
collision mesh is moving him.
right. They did some stuff to NG turrets, so it may have changed since then. We might have to do some testing with that later. Okay, so that covers... Okay, actually I haven't done any flanking stuff. So, Should there be a breach? Oh wait, I haven't even covered the big room. All right, over here, we'll just finish up here. You'd want to have a medic that would be backing up this engineer. You'd also want to have a heavy, well, a medic backing up the heavy and the engineer. You'd have a heavy who's on this side where the explosives are. So if this does get breached, the heavy's probably going to be the first to go down, and then the explosives will trigger once they get up here. The medic can then res whoever needs to be resed. Alternatively, there'd be a max here. The engineer would not need that turret, and the engineer would just focus on healing the max. In a support NG. It's fine, Zancy, you've got to go. So, finally, support fire team's going to be in here. Say 2 heavies and 2 medics. Have 1 pocket medic for each heavy, and they would just be simply watching 1 on a corridor. It's as simple as that.
User
And from there,
disconnected
you
from
can
your
have
channel.
fire teams flank around if you've got that balcony. You can just flank around directly to the small stairs push. If you've got fire teams on small stairs, should they be breaching the big stairs, you can just flank around outside, hit the big stairs from there.
Have ammo on the bridge.
And if you are at where I'm standing right now from the linchpin position as a heavy, and you've got a medic who's committed to be on you, you can actually just have 2 people flank around here, hit that small stairs push, while the engineer turret and the medic up there are holding. A lot of this stuff, when it comes to flanking, requires a very large amount of communication. Otherwise, you usually get too few people going somewhere, or too many people going somewhere, and that can be detrimental to the team.
For example, max crash coming up, large stair, gonna fucking pop back and lay a C4.
Right.
Which would then get the NG off his turret. It would pop back into the room where the banana bridges are. I would then lay a C4 and wait for the fucking maxes to come up and pop about 3 of them at once.
Right. Except Element, with you running heavy, you're probably gonna be want to run health stims, as far as linchpin goes. The medics, so
Right.
like Kitley, who would be healing you, would probably end up throwing the C4 down.
Do like explosives.
And also keep in mind, in a setting such as Community Clash, you only get 750 resources. So you have to keep in mind that, oh yeah, I'm expending 200 of my 750. This is going to bring me down to 550 resources for the rest of the match to counter this max crash. So you have to be very conservative when it comes to how you're going to be using your resources in a setting like this, especially for 24s.
How do they regulate that, if you don't mind me asking?
They're going to have their own private server.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're converting Jaeger, which was one of the original servers that got merged into the private server for Community Clash and PAL.
Nice.
Alright. So that covers everything in the warp gate, just about. I think, yeah. So. What else have we got that I need to show you? Probably the split level building.
Cigar, cave.
Cigar doesn't really need a whole lot of explanation. It's pretty straightforward. I'll probably end up showing.
Yeah, but which one is the cigar though?
It's just a
It's
long,
a long
straight
building.
building.
Yeah, see that building? I guess it's not the one behind the trap.
It's usually your teleporter room into a biolab at
yeah.
a camp.
For example,
Oh, okay.
Aladdin Broadcast Hub, that teleporter room there. That's the
Yeah,
cigar.
alright.
Alright. And then, okay, Quartz Ridge actually has 2 of the 3 that I'm looking to show you guys. So, we have a Galaxy. We're gonna need 2.
We do
We
now.
might be able to redeploy there since it's a hot
You can't.
spot.
I already checked.
Okay, we can't. Yeah.
We're gonna need 2 Galaxies.
We can now.
Well, I guess you can redeploy. Element can keep the Galaxy if he needs to. We might end up using it again.
Oh yeah, we can use it as a spawn if we have to.
Mm-hmm.
Is that live now?
Yep.
Yeah,
That is
As of
live.
today.
It's
And it
fucking
is
awesome.
It took
Although-
a long enough to make that change.
You have to be an Alpha Squad to be able to access my galaxy if you want to spawn from it.
I'll listen
But I
to
think
it.
if it's someone else in your gal, like I'm in Bravo, then other people in Bravo, I think, can go in there too.
So we're
We'll have to
going
test
where
that.
exactly?